Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lisa DeMeo, and I am joined by my husband, Chris DeMeo, and we are here at the Talking Gravesend podcast, the podcast that is dedicated to celebrating William DeMeo's series, Gravesend.
We're excited to be getting down to Season 2, Episode 1. Season 1 was an absolutely amazing wild ride, Lisa. I hope that you all enjoyed watching it along with us. Now we really want to take a deep dive. We've got brand new characters to talk about, new locations to talk about.
So many new cast members.
So many new really great cast members, and a few other cast members that actually have a much larger roles here in Season 2 that we're going to be talking about.
Yes, you see a lot of character development, so this is very exciting. Let's get into it. Episode 1.
You want to jump right into the episode?
Episode 1, Season 2. Here we go.
Scene opens at 1987 in Brooklyn at night, and it goes down to a beautiful brown Monte Carlo that's sitting on the street. And there's a sports radio station playing on the radio, and the radio station is talking about, I think it's a little bit of a promo buffer, like the Jets have won.
And then they're talking about boxing.
Yes, they started talking a little bit about Mike Tyson. And everybody, all the followers of the show, a lot of us are in the same age category. We remember Mike Tyson, and we remember boxing. Boxing was huge, Lisa. It was the very first time I ever even heard of pay-per-view or anything like that. Was boxing. I went with my dad over to our neighbor's house, and I think we watched.
You always go to a neighbor's house for the pay-per-view.
So they were talking about, he said Mike Tyson is knocking everybody out from Spinks to Bone Crusher Smith. He's just putting the beat down on anybody who stands in his way. And then the guy says this, which I really like. It says, whoever the next guy who wants to take him out, it's not going to be an easy ring to get into right now. And I thought that was just a great commentary of what we're about to learn here on Gravesend.
It's not going to be an easy season here. All right. So next scene, we pull up, we see the black four-door Cadillac with Big Rocco, played by Peter Gaudio. And we see Gaetano, who is played by Chris Mormando. In the car. Yes.
Hey, we're excited. This is the very first time we've ever laid eyes on this character. And you've seen it. We talked a little bit about him in the deep dive, and we're going to dive a little deeper as we go along. So you're right. So all of a sudden, we learned that the guy in the car's name is Bartolo. And Big Rocco comes out, and they start having a little this and that about what happened to Benny in the church. So you start to get the idea of, all right, this is about the hit that we last left our star.
Yes. And then you see Gaetano get out of the car, and I have to say, you served some face. Oh man! To steal a quote from The Sopranos, you had some Manson lamps coming out there.
Yeah, he's got those nice baby blues.
Those beautiful
you know what I mean?
eyes, but you look like you mean business.
It's about to go down.
So Bartolo turns around and he sees what's coming at him, and Rocco, I believe Rocco is the first one. He shoots Bartolo, and then Gaetano comes out.
Yeah, Bartolo gives him thanks God he's got some loyal guys like you around Rocco. Speaking about Benny, and that's all of a sudden, boom, 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 Bartolo. That's the end of him. And the cool part about the intro is they kill him. He lands right there at the gate of the Gravesend Cemetery.
Yes,
the camera goes
perfect.
up to Gravesend, and boom, we go into the
opening. Yes. So then the show opens with a great song, Clave Rocks.
Yeah, by Armoretto, and it's really a fun opening. The whole opening of Season 2 really gave me a Miami Vice feel.
Yes.
You know what? I think I have it here. Let's watch it together.
Let's watch.
A 737 MAX flying over. I love this cut right here. Yeah, that's what did the Miami Vice for me, was that cut right there. And then we have the drone shot sweeping in. We have our star here, pensive on the dock. Beautiful backdrop with this mid-century contemporary motel. All right.
Hi, Poppy.
So it comes into Benny. Benny's kind of giving some thought, and we're trying to kind of catching up on time, right? Because the last we saw him, he got shot in the church back in Brooklyn.
Yes. So camera cuts, we see Benny standing pensively on the deck, and then the scene shows Mikey the Hat coming in.
Yes.
And Mike asks him, basically, is he okay?
Sure, because he's kind of standing there. He's like grabbing his stomach.
He has a look.
So
he has a look.
He actually goes through a little bit of a memory here, and I really, it's important to the show. So let's jump right into it.
Yes. Oh, this is a gritty scene.
Yeah, this is a.
Rocco's here. I'm here. You'll be all right, buddy. Listen. If he dies, you go fucking next.
I'm doing the best I can. What he really needs is a hospital.
Hospital your fucking ass. Do your work.
Big Rocco.
That's what I'm talking about, Doc. you're the fucking man, Doc. Listen, he's lost a lot of blood.
So yeah, I like how Mikey's like, yeah, you're the fucking man, but if he goes, you're next. So
Back to Clave Rocks.
you know, and it's a really good duality here between the. Hold on a second, I'll jump.
What are you doing? I've been looking all over for you. Know Ronaldo's going to be here in a couple minutes.
All right. Yeah. I'm coming.
All right, so a really good duality, Lisa. There, right?
Yes.
You know, we've got the grittiness and and funny because this is a pretty rough scene. You know what I mean? And didn't Virginia have a conversation with Benny about her father?
Yeah. So if we go back to the fight scene that they had, Virginia, one of the things she expressed in her worry and concern over their relationship and their future was that, you know, her father lived in that lifestyle, and one of her memories was when he got shot, and they were unable to bring him to a regular hospital.
Right.
Exactly. So interesting that that same day in the series, or maybe the next day, but he ended up having that same problem.
So it's interesting, great writing on that, and a really again like an interesting duality for me with just the warmth and the comfort and the nourishment of the rehabilitation of Miami and the warm sun and the sea and the gentle breeze, and then this just cold hard bullets coming out with cold utensils stuck inside. That was a wicked scene. Everybody did a really good job on that.
Absolutely, and you could just tell that when the scene opens to Benny, the Florida's doing good for him. He's looking a little relaxed. He's got a nice goal in hand. So then the scene cuts to poolside where we see Benny walking up. We hear the music fading, going from one scene to the other, and we're introduced to two new characters, Mario and Pete.
Petey and Mario. Now I love both of these characters. Mario is this bigger than life, heavy.
He's huge.
And
he's huge.
He's played by Bruce. But I always have a hard time because it's double B. Bruce Busta Sosha. And this guy's just unbelievable. We love you, Bruce.
I love your character.
Love your character.
I really
voice.
connect with you.
I love your voice. Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about why we connect really well with the character, and then of course we meet Pete. Well. And
Pete's played by Vincent Presticomo.
It's actually, I think it's Prestigiacomo, but that was pretty close.
Sorry, I tried.
I probably did it wrong too.
We are name butchers.
So, you know what? I think I actually have, before we start talking more about the scene, I think I actually have the scene, darling.
Yes. And let's just make a quick note here that in the previous scene that we saw, Mikey the Hat does mention that they're going to go see Ronaldo.
Yes.
Ronaldo's waiting. So we'll talk about Ronaldo in a minute as well. Mario.
The whole pool don't need to hear it.
Good. Sorry, Benny.
I got a meeting
this song.
upstairs.
It's all good. Enjoying this view anyway.
I like that scene. Give a good, our first little glimpse at these fellas chilling by the pool. Really like the music.
Absolutely. It's a really fun song.
So
it really brings that Miami Vice feel that you mentioned earlier.
So as he says, he's got a meeting upstairs, and as you had mentioned, Mikey the Hat said, we got a meeting with Ronaldo. He's waiting for you. So Benny goes upstairs to a meeting where he meets Dave Bush, aka Davey B.
Davey B, who's played by Sid Rosenberg.
Hey, Sid and Friends.
Sid and Friends in the morning.
Yeah, Sid and Friends in the morning. 77 WABC, morning talk show in New York City metropolitan area, and we got to watch Christian, Peter, and William on his show before they had their season 2 premiere.
Yeah, it was a fun show.
In fact, we watched it before we came and recorded this episode. So I like the show, Sid. And also Sid, by the way, I'm calling him Sid. I should probably call him Davey B. Davey B's a cool character, and you're gonna like him. He plays a really neat guy. You're gonna meet. As a matter of fact, let's jump to the scene.
Davey B's got a great smile.
Davey B does have a good smile. He has a great smile. All right, here we go. So, as I had mentioned previously, Benny starts walking up the stairs, and there he is.
There's that smile. That's not the smile.
Yeah, Davey B. Who's winning? Great entry. He doesn't hug Mikey the Hat, though. He gives him a nice.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I mean, the heat. I'm doing really good.
So I want to ask, is that a thing going up in the ranks, why he didn't feel compelled to hug Mikey the Hat?
Yeah, Mikey's not made.
Okay. You only hug the made ones.
Yeah, I mean,
only the made ones get the hugs.
I always, hugs were usually pretty plentiful in my opinion, but yeah, he didn't give him a hug.
I'm surprised no one's smooching. You see a lot of these Italian-made guys smooching, the double smooch.
Okay. So Davey gives him a hug and says, "Hey, look, Ronaldo's waiting for you outside," and that's obviously why they're there. So they head out now. We get to be a brand new character today in Gravesend Series 2, and it's a special one.
Oh my gosh, this character's fun. Ronaldo is fabulous, and Ronaldo is played by Andrew Dice Clay.
The Dice Man.
Yes.
And just another, I'm going to put my phone down because I have the next scene to show, but just something that's another cool thing about this show and the casting, to putting somebody like Andrew Dice Clay in a role. I mean, at this time in 87, he was super duper popular.
He was huge.
All my friends did all your skits.
Little Bo Peep.
Oh my God, little Jack and Jill went up the hill. I mean, she needed the money. I mean, come on, we loved all of those scenes. I remember like 3 of my friends dressed up like him all the time. It was just really cool. And he does an outstanding job at Ronaldo.
Oh my gosh, yes.
As a matter of fact, let's jump into it a little bit so we can discuss it, because there are some interesting things that occurred during this scene.
Andrew Dice Clay is so believable in his role here. I really enjoy his performance.
Here we go.
Hey. Boy.
See, there's your kiss, honey.
And that scene is so aesthetically pleasing. Their shirts coordinate. It looks really good.
Where's Chris?
The railing. It's a beautiful shot right there. God damn, leading lines, everything.
You got pinched.
And this is where Benny finds out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chris Telva, his boss just got arrested up in that big sweep.
Fucking real.
But for now,
We talked about it.
orders from me.
Okay.
All right?
So now he's got to take orders from Ronaldo. And we learn it's not the first time
Come along.
later in the
Feeling
episodes.
better every day.
That's good.
I feel like I'm ready to go back now.
Brooklyn back?
Where? Brooklyn back?
Yeah.
Of course. Where else?
He says, "There's no way you're going back to Brooklyn right now. We've got some things we got to do down here. I set up a meeting with the boss of Florida, Trafato. We're going to talk to him. He's going to set you up with one of his guys." And then he starts to break him down a little bit about, I guess, the Bartolo whacking.
Yes, yes.
And then because basically Benny's saying, like, look, I want to go back. I want to find out who did this to me in a church. And here we go. And we kind of get some explanation here.
What? This fit in Brooklyn, Bartolo? You had a beef. We squashed the beef. That guy was in no way capable of setting something like this up.
He had it coming to him from back then. I ain't leaving no rock unturned.
And neither are we. We're cracking skulls all over New York trying to find out.
None of those skulls points to Matty Cigars or Ray Scars.
Ray Scars with the Bizzanos. Figured you'd bring that up again. You think Chris was gonna let that Danny Cuccio get away with talking to him the way he did that night you guys had to sit down? I heard that you were out of line.
That's fucking bullshit, okay? Let me tell
Hey,
you.
Chris. Sorry. This kid here should
Do you guys remember this from season 1?
when he opens it.
Danny was giving Ray and the Bizzanos nothing but trouble. It was a major fucking headache. They even think he might have been a rat. So Ray knew it would be Chris's pleasure to get rid of him. And that's when they asked us.
And here we go. And here's Danny, played by Craig DeFranco.
Yep, we see that black Cadillac again. And when we initially saw it, we didn't know. But
now we know
it's
it's Big Rocco.
Okay.
Way to go. No, so Big Rocco, I mean, I love the scene, but it wasn't on Benny's orders, right? This was on Chris Telva's orders.
Correct.
So now we know. We kind of left that. We didn't know who the shooter was at the end of season 1, so I thought it was really cool that we found
We're
that
like,
out right
could
away,
it be who shot Benny in the church? Maybe it led you to believe that, but nope, we see it was Big Rocco.
So Ronaldo tells Benny that Iggy is now kind of looking over. He's in charge of Benny's crew while he's down there in Florida, and Iggy is cousins of Caesar.
Yes, so he's
who is
with
the
Caesar.
boss.
Correct.
And then Benny makes kind of a faux pas comment here, and it's interesting. He says, what do you say? Something like the so-called boss.
Our so-called boss.
Caesar. And then Ronaldo says, I'm going to make believe I didn't hear that.
Yes.
He says, let's make some money. Even though Travato runs Florida, we're gonna our crew's gonna run circles around him. And he tells him that he's got a meeting being set up, as I had mentioned earlier. And Benny says, he just doesn't like it in Florida.
No, and they assure him that they're going to find out who was behind the hit, and that not only will it be the worst day of their lives, it's going to be the last day of their lives.
Yeah, the last day. So then we bounce right back to Brooklyn. And
Brooklyn.
The audio that you hear is a news report talking about the major sweep of organized crime by Rudy Giuliani. And we have a really nice exterior of a really opulent Brooklyn home. And then we move inside of it.
So then we open up to a scene in an opulent house, and that is the home of...
It's Chris Telva's house,
Chris
right?
Telva's
So he's got
house,
his wife
correct.
and his
his
daughter
wife and
there.
his daughter, and we're introduced to a new character, his daughter, Rosemary Telva, who is played by Chaz Palminteri's daughter.
Gabriella
Palminteri.
Yeah.
So she does such a great role.
She really does.
She has a great performance.
There's
here.
a bunch of good performances, really bunch of really nice performances by her. And also, is this the first time we're seeing Chris Telva's wife? Is this the first time we're seeing Sophia Milos?
This might be our first introduction to Sophia
So
Milos.
you're going to know Sophia Milos if you watched our cast deep dive from our season 1 of Talking Gravesend podcast. You learned all about that. She speaks 7 languages. She holds 3 different passports from Italy and Switzerland and America. Of course, she was in The Sopranos. She played the mob boss over in Italy that Tony went over and did the car deal with. Just an outstanding actress, and she really, really brings a lot to this role here as Chris Telva's wife. And she really almost becomes an antagonist in a way or two, you know?
Maybe for someone. But so the daughter is obviously very upset that her father's arrested. She makes comments that, they glorify the mafia and that, everyone knows now, and she doesn't feel like going out, and her mother tells her that they have to be strong. Her father would want them to be strong, and they're going to go out and get their nails done. It's important to get the nails done. So,
and she's all dressed up too, if you noticed. Tina's is
she's ready to go.
Full dress, full makeup, earrings, chandelier earrings on. And when Rosemary comes down the stairs, she's kind of like in like a PJ kind of an outfit. She's like, no, we're getting ready, we're going out.
We're doing it.
And then they have a little bit of a tender moment because Tina was kind of hard. She was kind of representing for Chris at the time, trying to be a strong, united front with the daughter. And then she gave her a hug and she goes, everything's going to be okay. Because she even says it, you're going to see your dad walk through those doors. So don't you worry.
Absolutely. So next scene, now we're back in Florida. And Mikey is driving the black convertible.
Oh, it's a beautiful black.
Yes, with the top down, surprisingly, because
mid-70s Coupe de Ville, I think. Just gorgeous car. And I'm sorry, I just interrupted you, darling. I do that all the time in this show.
Does it at home too, so it's not a problem. So they stop at a light. He's asking him how he feels about working up with Ronaldo. And as I was saying in the previous episode, when Tommaso had his new convertible, Benny wasn't having it. He was not driving around with the top down. He even makes mention of that. But he seems like he's more comfortable. Everyone's taken on a new personality a bit, different persona in Florida. So
that's when all of a sudden I don't think it was a light. They're just kind of like at a little
they were at a
rotunda.
stop sign, I believe, and a Jeep pulls up behind them, beep beep, beeping the horn. Hey, get moving, old man, or something like that.
He's like, move that piece of shit. He's got like he's got a surfboard, and then Mikey the Hat was about to jump out and take care of business, and Benny said, I got this.
Yeah.
So I really like that, right? So we're kind of getting back to, let's see, he's taking the stitches for a test drive here. So
absolutely. And the first thing he says to him, he walks up, he says, dude, and he smacks him in the door and just proceeds to pummel him.
He does. He goes, show some respect.
Yeah.
He freaking racks that kid. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good scene.
Benny gives a spit after he was done and gets back in the car.
Benny always gives a nice spit when he's done doing his work there, his dirty work.
So that was fun. Good for him. He's back.
Yes, Benny's back.
We're feeling back. So the next scene,
we're back in Brooklyn.
Back in Brooklyn.
It's a nighttime shot. They're in the park, and we're introduced to Iggy. As we mentioned. Iggy is Caesar's cousin. Who is Iggy played by?
Waz Stevens, and he was, believe it or not, he was a boxer. If I'm not mistaken, he was an assistant district attorney for a little while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, and he's done a lot of work. He was in another movie, Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn, that was actually from another Ball Borghese. We're going to talk about him in a few minutes. And this guy's in a bunch. He does some acting instruction, and he really plays a creep. He's easy not to like. He's easy not to like.
I don't like Iggy as a character, so it's great acting.
I think we have the scene.
Still in Miami. Who knows when he's coming back?
That's what he says. We don't know when he's coming back.
I know you're close to him, you love him, but maybe that's because he was too lenient on you. For me, it's not the same. There's no margin for errors or fuck-ups with me. Is that understood?
Yeah, we get it.
Good. Let's have it clips.
Oh, here comes Sammy Clams.
Can you have an idea on the ball?
Is he wearing the jacket? Is he wearing the jacket from The Sopranos?
It looks like it almost
No.
looks like the defined Corinthian leather.
Please tell me this is not true. I wish that was so, but it's confirmed.
Okay, so yeah, they go into talking about that Frankie Boy's been screwing around with Louis's wife. Louis obviously in prison. That's a huge no-no. And he even says, he goes, couldn't you wait to get laid? She's getting out in 6 months. So at 1536, we cross the Brooklyn Bridge back into Manhattan. And there's 3 men eating dinner. And I actually have a scene on it because we meet some new characters. And really, the main character that we meet is Franco. And he's played by Mario Cantone. And you know Mario from Sex and the City. I mean, this guy is he's a huge actor. And he just plays a really authentic role here. And I love his delivery of like every line. So he's sitting down with Roger, which looks to be maybe his partner, if I'm not mistaken, Roger.
Could
and
be.
Then the other fella, I didn't have the other fella's name. Let's see. Very swanky. Nice bright red background.
Why don't you get a little bit more? What are you, double fisting?
Did you see on the news today? They arrested another mobster.
Yeah, I seen that. Another scum of the earth lowlife going away, and hopefully for good.
Why in the world would you say something like that, Ross?
Oh, come on, Franco.
They kill people. That's right. Why you get so defensive, Franco? You act like you know it.
As a matter of fact, I do. Crazy Chris lived around the block from me. Did you forget I come from Brooklyn?
So it's a good establishing shot. We could meet Franco, find out a little bit about him. And he talks a little bit about how one of the gangsters growing up really toughened him up, helped him out.
Yep, helped him out. They had mentioned, they must have loved you being gay, and he said, he didn't get he got picked on, but never by the gangsters or anything. They actually helped him out. So then the scene cuts. We're back in Miami, and we see Benny in bed holding a picture of his mother, Antoinette, and he is looking down at his bruised hands. The camera focuses for a moment on the horseshoe ring.
Yep.
And then we go back in time. Chris, do you have that clip?
I do. Let's play. It's a really fun clip. It's very nostalgic for Italian folks. The song that's playing is Mala Femina. It's a song, it translates to like hard woman or heartbreak woman. It's been sung by everyone from Connie Francis to everybody. There's young Benny with the cards.
Roberta came by last night. She was crying her eyes out.
Again?
She just can't let go of this marriage thing, Freddie? Charlie, she's a great girl. Very beautiful. And she's so in love with you. I don't understand.
Okay. So some things happen, and I don't think I have the next. I don't. So the thing that's interesting about all of this is that this guy comes in named Carl, or they bring him in, and I guess he went to Vegas and he owed Charlie money. And he went to Vegas. He said he was going for a couple of weeks, and he was there for 2 months. And it sounds like
sounds like he won some money.
Yeah, they knew he won $100,000.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, it's a lot more than you owe me, so you must have my money."
Nope.
So-
Nope. So then you can see the scene gets a little tense. As we've seen before, Charlie takes his coat off. So we know.
You know what's coming.
We know what happens when Charlie takes his coat off. And he actually takes out some money to give Benny and says, "Hey, Benny, why don't you go down to Chippy's and get yourself an egg cream?"
Yeah, an egg cream.
Yep, egg cream at Chippy's.
And the reason I wanted to talk about this scene is it reminded me of that scene in The Sopranos when young Tony witnessed his father cut off Satrielli's finger, and because they sent Benny to go get an egg cream, but he didn't go all the way to egg cream. He was kind of eavesdropping and trying to find out.
You can see through the window a little bit,
and you don't know because the next scene it's a J cut where the next scene is Benny's back and he's looking at his pillow. And he's remembering everything being brought back to present time, and we don't know if Carl got killed. Right. If he witnessed or semi-witnessed is that first murder, or was it just the violence of that first?
Sure.
So Benny gets out of bed, and it's the next morning he starts lifting weights. And he comes down to the pool where Gaetano is, and so actually I've got some of that scene.
All right, let's watch it.
Then we get to really meet some characters here too, which is really fun. All right.
Work in Miami.
Here we go. We got Mario and Mikey the Hat and Petey. Yeah.
Hey, Benny. Did you get a good night's sleep last night?
Yeah, right. What's up with Gaetano? He's still not here?
No.
Well, where the hell is he? He should have been here last night.
I don't know.
Hey.
Oh,
Here he
There
is.
he is. Like King Fruit. Look at him, smiling and everything.
What the fuck, bro?
I'm sorry, Benny. I got pulled over for speeding in South Carolina, and this hillbilly prick cop gave me a ticket, too. So I wanted to do the speed limit the rest of the way.
Come here.
I like a reunion.
Back.
Fellas, give me brother. Mr. Mike.
These coppers, they smell you in South Carolina.
Let me introduce you to Mario.
Give it a little cologne bump there.
I got you all a gift. Come on, let me show you. I got you all heroes from John's Deli.
Hey.
Huh?
All of a sudden you like John's Deli.
I like any deli in Brooklyn more than the thing over here.
Because remember, back in season 1, he said he didn't like John's Deli as much as some of the other
So
places.
John told me to tell you he's going to be shipping us down heroes every week.
Good. Roast beef special.
Roast beef
Let's take a
special.
walk.
All right, now a little walk and talk. Great.
Hey, I can get used to this.
All right, I've got a little bit of that next scene too, so we're gonna watch it. So really fun. Gaetano showing up on the scene, like as we spoke about. Chris Marmondo, really, his acting throughout this season really took me by surprise. He has some extremely difficult scenes, some really emotional scenes, a lot of conflict with this character,
Yes, yes.
and the conflict to the man's core. And I just love what he brings to the screen inside of doing this as Gaetano. I love the guy. And also, hey, before we go into this, I just want to thank Bruce Busta. Thank you so much for sending some of these clips. I don't know if you guys know this, but Lisa and I have been getting a lot of our B-roll. We're like 1996 in the movie theaters. We're full bootleggers, right? We're in our living room, the lights turned off with the iPhone.
We're pirating some of our clips here, so we appreciate any of the regular footage that you guys were able to send us. We're so appreciative.
Thanks, Bruce. I really appreciate
helping
that.
us level up our game here.
Yeah,
so
come
thank
on.
you.
So, and then we talk a little. He actually asks, who Mario is. So here, let's watch this.
I remember Petey from the neighborhood. Who's the guy Mario?
He's from Federal Hill, Rhode Island. We did some time together. The guy who was around Chicky Moranga, he passed away. He was floating around and I claimed him. His little bots in the head, but he's a good guy. Very loyal.
Well, if he's around you, I'm sure he is. But
And
by
he
the
really
way, I
is
think
from
that
Rhode
guy-
Island, isn't that true?
Yes, he is from Federal Hill. He knows guys here in town. He knows guys in Boston.
You know people here in Sprinkletown.
New England is on Gravesend. We love it. I loved hearing that, and he really brings a lot of fun things to the series and into the crew. Right, he really rounds off the crew down here in Florida. So you're gonna like what you get to witness Mario do in this season. Gaetano briefly says, "Hey, we took care of that thing."
Yep, they mentioned the Bartolo elimination, we'll call it.
And then there's actually kind of a fun scene, and I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell you why I decided to include it in this show today.
What are you doing? Thinking about jumping in. Maybe in my bathing suit.
Is it Benny's hand?
Hey, Petey, you don't need a bathing suit. I promise you.
What are you talking about?
You don't need a bathing suit. I still got the cigar. He still got the cigar.
Look, you can swim, the doggy paddle.
The doggy pad. I love the way he says that.
I love.
So this is a fun scene, Lisa, right? And it reminds me, to me, was a really genuine scene. It reminded me of a scene from Donnie Brasco, if you remember all the guys playing in the pool down in Florida. And really, I mean, I guess we always played in the pool, right? And we always were silly, and we did something. I got thrown in the pool with a brand new watch one time. I was really pissed off, but it kind of felt very cultural appropriate. So good job on that. And also, didn't you get upset from Benny calling?
Yeah, I was like, why do you gotta introduce Mario like that? Don't be talking junk to Pete about Mario.
Lisa was like protective of you.
I'm very sentimental. I was like, no, I like his character. He's so sweet.
So now we really, man, we're like, you can tell we like the show. We're like every single freaking episode, every little piece. So the next scene is at 24 minutes and 50 seconds on the timeline. And it's Gaetano and Benny taking a ride in Gaetano's new tuxedo Cadillac. It's
beautiful.
I believe it's a Fleetwood Coupe de Ville, but I could be wrong. And they're talking about what it was like for Gaetano being out of jail. And there's a real sense of camaraderie in this episode. And they're talking about pizza, which is a big hit for us because, we have a pizza show. We want to talk about that. So let's talk. the song that's first on is One More Beat by John Roby.
Yeah, One More Beat.
And then it goes on to a really cool song by Trenier. But let's play the scene.
I'm glad you're back, buddy.
Feels good to be back with you again, Benny. And I'm gonna tell you the best part. When we get back to our neighborhood, they're gonna know we're home.
I love this song.
You remember this one?
Oh, I love this. Turn this up.
How Can We Be Wrong by Trenier. It's a good cruising scene, you know what I mean? And actually, Gaetano says it feels good to be driving again after being away for 6 years. So I thought that was kind of nice. And then they're going to this meeting. They're going to the meeting with Truffautto's guy, Barry, who we're about to meet.
Yes. And this scene is just hilarious.
Oh, my God. So... So I'm just going to pause this for a second. You may have seen the Talking Gravesend meme on this particular scene. This scene was absolutely hilarious. I believe in this scene, and we're going to play it for what they walk in. Barry gets up. He's like, "Hey, it's good to meet you. Heard a lot of good things." He goes, "Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about you."
Heard a lot of good things about you too, Barry. What I didn't hear, you show up to a meeting wearing flip-flops?
The look, he's like,
Do you believe this fucking guy?
flip-flops.
Yeah.
These are sandals. Flip-flops, sandals. To me, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, but I can't discuss business like this. We're Zoom when you put a pair of shoes on.
Oh, is that so? Let me get this straight. Maybe I've been sitting in the sun too long. So you guys come here from New York and you tell me how to fuck to dress?
I just do things a certain way, Barry. It has nothing to do with being from New York. Good day, fellas.
Watch Gaetano.
Come on, what?
Gaetano's cracking up. Like the whole time as he's busting. I don't know if you noticed, he's sitting over there, he's holding his nose. He's laughing at the guy. And so we should mention, of course, that Barry is played by Vic Benedito, huge comedian. We follow you on all the socials. You're hilarious. And he actually had a couple Gravesend podcasts from season 2 when he was down there. So, but really, this is where we get to meet this character. Obviously, the meeting doesn't go well. And I respect that they put something like this in there. When I put the mem up, I mean, even I remember just a regular meeting in another industry that I went to. And of course, I dressed appropriately with a blazer and a shirt and tie. And the guy who was like the head of the company showed up in like a wrinkly golf shirt. And how somebody dresses for a meeting shows you just how much respect they have for the conversation they're about to have with you and you. So I appreciate what William did here in the writing of this. Absolutely. So let's talk about the next. Oh, no, wait. He yells. What does Barry yell? He yells, "Don't worry, I'll wear Capizios next time." So I thought that was pretty funny. I had a pair
That's a sign of the times.
I had a pair of white Capizios. I bought them right down here, actually, right across from the Civic Center.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I used to moonwalk in them.
I bet you did, honey. I bet you did.
So,
all right. So now the next scene, we see the bosses sitting around at a country club. We see Chaz Palminteri, who is Caesar. We see Tony Darrow and Vincent Pastore.
So yeah, Vincent Pastore plays he plays Donnie Glasses. And of course you know him from Big Pussy of The Sopranos and a million other movies. Tony Darrow, if you've watched our cast deep dive, I mean the guy's a triple threat, acts, dances, sings. He's unbelievable.
So talented.
Every organized crime movie like you can think of in the past 30 years. Yeah, he's great. He's great. So he plays the underboss in this scene, and it really shows how far away they are from everything. So let's take a look at it.
So what are the lawyers saying about Chris's case?
How far removed they are from the street, right?
Charlie Finesse is the head of the firm.
Got a little Fila suit on here.
He's really good. He's the best fucking lawyer to come out.
I think those are Porsche glasses, too. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. No, come on. They're like the mob, these guys. You know what I mean? It's a constant shakedown. 100,000 here, 100,000 there. I mean, come on. It never ends.
Don't have to worry about it. You know what? Half the members that play golf here, they're all lawyers. We're going to get it back.
Let me tell you something. I like the doctors better.
So that shot with Chaz sitting there.
With the clock?
Yeah, with the clock. Yeah. It's pretty epic. It's pretty epic.
So what do you think they're saying there, Lisa? His time is limited?
And if you notice, I think each side of the clock had a little different time. It looked like.
No, I think it was just about. Well, it depends on the time of the scene, right? Because the scene could have taken a little bit to shoot, but I think it was at like a 4 minutes after 12 and like 5 minutes after 12. So it's like, is that a time we need to be aware of? 5 minutes after 12. Is it because time is running out for Caesar's reign? Is it
because the clock is ticking for Charlie to be getting out?
Charlie to get out.
Yes.
So nice freaking shot there, player.
Yeah, we like it. What does it mean? What's the significance?
What's the significance?
I don't know.
Caesar says, I'm not letting him back till I give the okay, and that's that. And then at 29:45 on the time clock, we move to a strip bar called Wiggles. And the song that's playing is Debbie Deb, Lookout Weekend, which was a big song back then. Actually, I remember hearing that song several times. I think I might even have that. Let's see. It's Petey, Mike, and Mario, and they're at the strip club. And Mikey the Hat is uncomfortable. He doesn't like strip clubs. He doesn't want to be there. All the other guys, the other two.
Mario's loving it.
He's digging right in.
He's living his best life in there. Yeah, he's having a good time.
And then we meet a new character.
Yes.
And this is the guy that you're going to love to hate. He's played by Al Seponenzo, and you remember him from Mikey Palmisi in The Sopranos. He plays a guy named Salvi Vincenzo, and he's a former Colezo soldier turned informant.
Yes.
And so funny, Salvi, really quick, I'm sure you know it's a nickname for Salvatore.
Salvatore, correct.
So he's doing coke off with these the strippers and the
dancers.
The dancers, the adult entertainers in the back. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, you got to come to my restaurant.
Oh, my God. He's such an asshole. So he's handing out $100 bills to everybody. Here. He's offering blow to everybody. And then when it's time to go, he tells the other guy, he's like, collect the money. Who does that? Who does that? So he walks out. And he's spotted to
Mikey the Hat. Yeah,
Mikey the Hat sees him with freaking horror. Petey can't believe his eyes either. And Mario's there getting a little lap dance.
Lap dance. So he's like, come on, we got to go right now. Because Mario's like,
well,
hold on a minute. Let me finish. But he's like, no, we got to go. You'll never guess what we just saw. And then, another really interesting thing is Mario has to pay, right? So low man usually has to pay. So
they tell him to pay the bill.
Pay the bill and we leave. Then when they leave, there's a quick scene with a 1966 red Stingray Corvette. And I know it because they say it right on the screen.
Yes.
And I think there's a couple of English guys maybe. They're snorting cocaine.
Possibly Australian in accent. I can't quite tell what the accent was, but there's a bit of a brawl out there. They make the mistake of calling
called Mikey a cunt.
Yeah, he told Mikey they had a cunt. He's like, "Did you just call me a cunt?"
You just called me a cunt.
Yeah, he's not having it. They all haul off on him. I mean, Mikey pummels him.
And then, he puts him through the window. He's let me introduce you to your fancy car. And then at the end, I know that Petey and Mario give some nice slugs to the gut with a couple of kicks. So it was kind of a nice, put a little work in. So after that, they actually, the next scene is the crew with Benny, like dawn, like sun's up. They're out on the deck and they're having a talk about what they just saw. And actually, I do have that here. So, and I do that courtesy of Bruce. Here we go. Scene looks
name
nice.
Of strip joint again?
Place is called Wiggles. Actually, a pretty good strip club.
I think that's Santini Trufato's place. If he only knew he had a rat in there.
This is unbelievable. So I guess all these rumors are true then? That after he checked himself out of witness protection in Tennessee, he came down here, opened a restaurant, and is doing great? What the fuck is going on?
Plump balls. He put a lot of good fellas away from back home.
Yeah. And one of them is my cousin Charlie.
I was down to shoot him right there in the parking lot.
No. You cannot do it like that.
I don't know how we could do it at all. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's got a ton of money, right? And bodyguards 24/7. And this isn't the movies, Petey. You're not going to walk up, shoot him in broad daylight and get away with it. You got to have a little finesse. And what bothers me, Benny, is how the fuck does our government allow this prick to keep every dollar he ever made with that gas scam with the Russians?
The federal government, they take great fucking care of the rats. And Salvi, I never liked him from the first time I met him.
Come on, Mikey. It's not too many people you do like.
And you're one of them.
Fucking me.
So mean.
Mario does get it. He catches the butt of many jokes, right? So there it is. So they let Benny know what's going on. It's a serious situation. And then right away we go to a beach, kind of walk and talk with Ronaldo and Benny. And I just love the way this scene looks.
Yes.
Sprite sun. They got
the guys with the umbrellas.
Yeah, Davey B's got the umbrella and Gaetano's carrying the umbrella. I mean, just, I think I have it. Let's take a look.
Benny, what the fuck? You walk out of a meeting with one of Santini's guys.
Over
The guy
sandals?
showed up with flip-flops on.
Flip-flops?
Well, weren't actually flip-flops. The bottom line is his feet were showing. Made guy or not, I'm not going to take someone seriously that dresses to a meeting like that.
All right, so in other words, what you're saying is in some way or another, his feet were out, is that it?
Yeah. What's up with this Florida crew?
I don't know, it's a little different, I don't know.
What now, though? With all due respect, that cigarette ain't lit. Why do you do that?
I don't know.
It's a funny scene. Actually, it's a thing that Dice does. I saw him.
Yes, he
saw
does
him on
that.
Joe Rogan.
He does
was
that
talking
in
about
real
that.
life. Yeah.
Hey, if he's not smoking, he's not taking in the nicotine. Who cares? Hey, be happy. Do what you got to do. I know guys who suck lollipops all the time. It's not a big deal.
Well, okay.
So, Ronaldo tells Benny in this conversation that he's got to go see Carmine up in Atlanta.
Yes.
And that's got to happen. So the next scene at 38 minutes and 57, we meet Sammy in the park with...
Yes, we meet Sammy. He's in the park with Mikey the Hat, his uncle. And this is the first time that we meet.
Is this the first time we meet Sammy?
This is the first time we meet
scene.
Sammy,
Okay.
played by Christian DeMeo.
Christian, come on.
You kill it. You kill it.
You do such a great job in this scene. I know this was your first scene on Gravesend.
Yes.
We saw that on your Facebook post. Thanks so much for sharing that. And you can tell the preparation. I know you saw my cast deep dive. I mean, I think this young man does a great job. He's freaking pretty handsome, too.
Oh my gosh, the light loves it.
Yeah, he
the
really
light
does.
loved you.
So let's walk. Let's take a look at this.
So
This is,
good.
let's meet Sammy.
Mikey, unfortunately, cassette tape got jammed on my last one.
Yeah, he gave him a
Well,
Walkman.
shit happens. I had an 8-track. It got stuck in my caddy one day.
An 8-track?
Yeah, lighting handled
You
as
still
well.
listen to 8-tracks?
Of course. All right. Now look down there. You see that, Lizzie? But that's the size of a fucking dragon.
It's cute.
It's called an iguana. And they're all over Florida.
Whatever they're called, they're fucking ugly.
You know, I really missed you. It's been such a long time. What finally brings you down to Florida?
I got some work to do. Looks like I'm going to be here for a while, so you're stuck with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sammy's happy about
I
that.
miss Brooklyn. Much better than being down here. I don't know why my father ever moved us.
What's wrong with down here? It ain't that bad. You got the weather.
Yeah, it's too hot and humid. I miss the 4 seasons.
I like this scene, and I guess I identify with Sammy. I remember my mom moved us to the country, and I was like one of 2 Italians in my entire school, and I did, and it was like I was lost. I found a place that had pasta fazool, a couple of towns for me, and I was like I was fucking in heaven. Anyway, sorry.
Not enough garlic bread in the town for you?
No. Really fun scene, and I like how Mikey really just says, let's cut the crap. I hear your dad tells me you're getting into trouble. Wherever there's trouble, there's you, and you're the one getting blamed for it. And he says, well, I get in trouble because there's a lot of fucking assholes down here, Uncle Mike. And he goes, there's an asshole epidemic. There's nothing you can do about that.
There's assholes everywhere, you know. You can't avoid them. You can't avoid them.
So then we cut the little walk and talk with Iggy and Caesar back at the country club, and Iggy tells Caesar that Frankie Boy, in fact, has been banging Louis Pucalo's wife.
Yeah.
And Caesar says he gets the okay. He gives the okay to Iggy.
And he says, make sure it's messy. Make sure it's messy. That they just don't stand for that crap. So these guys.
So the next scene, we're back at Wiggles. Is it Wiggles? I think it might be Wiggles.
I think he said Wiggles. Yeah, it's Wiggles, the strip bar.
And there's another Trenier song playing. I'll be all you ever need.
I'll be all you ever need.
And Gaetano and Benny are going up to the bar, and they're talking a little bit about just kind of back and forth about the guys in witness protection. And they order a couple of single malt scotches, I believe, and enter the bartender, Maureen, who's played by Sophia Reba, and she's from American Girl. Gaetano talks, so they're
chit-chatting at the bar. They're talking about Iggy and Brooklyn and how the guys aren't into it.
And then Gaetano gives him the look. Remember, he goes, well, I guess there's nothing we can do about that. And he kind of gives him the look.
As my daughter would say, he gives him some side eye to see what the reaction would be, to see where Benny's coming from on that. But Benny didn't really seem to have much overt reaction.
And then they start, because he's like, hey, you can get, he brought up Virginia, and he goes, you always, memory serves me correct, you always had a thing for her. And he goes, yes, I did. And then the line comes back, but you can't always get what you want.
That's right.
So
That's
it's a kind of a theme.
That's
that we
always
heard.
coming back.
Yeah, Chris's words are always coming back to him inside of that. And he goes, well, not for you, because it looks like this girl's like, she's ready for you already.
Right. He's like, oh, I saw her, I saw the vibe she was putting out.
And Benny says he hasn't, even the whole time he's been down there, he's been celibate.
Yeah. His heart's still with Virginia.
Yeah,
He misses his girl.
He does. So,
but he hits it off with Maureen anyways. He throws down some cheesy line like, oh, they were talking about accents. That's what it was. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yes, I thought you had a New York accent. And she said something, it's hot. Yeah, that's yours is hotter.
Yours
what
is
a
hotter.
Weak line. But it worked.
It worked. She had her. He had her at hello. And they go to bed. They have a pretty steamy, a
little bit sweaty.
In the bed scene. And a Madison Anderson song is playing for the night. So it's kind of appropriate. Maybe is it a one night stand?
Ooh,
we don't know.
To be determined.
And then we go to the end of the show and we fade to black. And this is, don't go away, guys. This is really great. The song that plays is called Lies. And it's by
Tony Luke Jr.
Oh, God, I have listened to this song 15 times in the past 3 days. I'm cruising down Main Street. I got Lies playing. He's like the Italian Luther Vandross of Philadelphia.
He is the Italian Luther Vandross of Philadelphia.
Tony, we love your music.
Smooth voice.
I just love the way your song made the end fade to black and credits feel. It just really did. And of course, Tony Luke. Everybody knows Tony Luke from Tony Luke sandwiches. They're heroes. They're not grinders. This guy's a famous guy. He just opened up another place at Rivers Casino, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He's huge. He's all over the place. And I just want to shout out the director of photography, George Mitez. Really some great shots in this episode.
Yeah, down in
just
Florida.
Loved it.
Beautiful.
All right. There we go.
All right. So that was episode 1 of season 2 of Gravesend.
Everyone, thanks so much for sticking around. I know this was a long episode. Well, it's kind of the season premiere, so it's a little bit meatier. We're going to jump right into episode 2 next, so you're going to tune into that. But before we do that, we want to make sure that you all go ahead and follow the Gravesend series on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you go on to Amazon Prime and Tubi and start watching Gravesend series right away. Absolutely. And while you're at it, follow some of the cast on Instagram. Everybody's on there. Bruce Busta Sosa, Chris Marmondo, Peter Borghese, all of these guys are on there. You want to follow these folks. Come on,
William
Christian,
DeMeo,
the whole crew.
And
while you're following people on social media, hey, show us some love. The Talking Gravesend podcast can be found on Facebook and on Instagram. And of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and share the show. And while you're at it, if you're busy and you're you're driving and you can't watch the show,
we are available audio only on all podcast
I listen on Apple.
I listen on Apple as well.
You know what, Lisa? I was surprised. I was actually listening to our show quickly on the way to the gym the other day. And I actually found listening to our show a completely different experience than watching the show. So if you watch the show and like it, give us a listen.
That's for sure a non-biased opinion yet again. But anyway, Thank you so much for being here. And let's get on to the second episode. So we'll see you in the next time.
All right. We'll see you in the streets. Ciao.
Ciao.